If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Warming up our studios this morning is Jayla Duncan, Miss Coosa Valley Outstanding Teen. Jayla, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, thank you for being here. Jayla's no stranger. She's been our Star Student of the Month here a year or two ago, so we welcome her back. And Miss Coosa Valley Outstanding Teen, talk about that a little bit this morning.
So I was crowned Miss Coosa Valley's Outstanding Teen in June last year. And I'm just so happy this year to be able to represent my hometown. Last year I was able to represent Sylacauga, Alabama. So this year as Miss Coosa Valley's Outstanding Teen, I just hope I make them proud of the state pageant.
Now, you're actually in school at Childersburg High School, is that correct? Okay. What grade?
I'm in 9th grade, so I'm a freshman this year.
How long have you been in pageants?
I've been in pageants since I was 7 years old.
Oh, goodness.
And I just started competing within the Miss America organization 2 years ago.
Tell the audience a little bit about the Miss America pageant and the pageants that's upcoming for you.
So right now I'm competing within the Miss Alabama's Outstanding Teen organization, which is also part of the Miss America organization. And in March I'll be competing at the Miss Alabama's Outstanding Teen pageant.
Oh, wow. I know that's exciting for you.
It is very exciting.
And of course, your platform is an anti-bullying campaign, and I want you to speak to that this morning as well.
So I chose this platform, which is called Jayla's Justice, an anti-bullying campaign. And I chose it because I'm a victim of bullying. So through my platform, I would like to eliminate that issue throughout my community as well as the entire state of Alabama.
Can you, Jayla, give an example of what would be considered bullying? And, we have that. I was talking to my grandson last night. He's 8 years old. And he said, Granddad, I think there's somebody bullying me in school. Well, there's a definition of that. What would you consider bullying in your platform?
Bullying is definitely a constant tormenting of someone. Maybe it's different forms of bullying. There can be cyberbullying, physical bullying, emotionally being bullied. And I was bullied socially, meaning I was excluded from activities and my friends really wouldn't hang out with me anymore. And it was a constant thing. I think kids are normally confused because they think if someone calls them a name one time, they're being bullied. And so through my platform, it is my goal to go into schools and talk to kids so that they know exactly what bullying is, how to report it so it doesn't happen in the future.
Wow. Jayla Duncan, Miss Coosa Valley Outstanding Teen, is our guest this morning. She is a freshman at Childersburg High School. And she wants to obtain a Bachelor of Science degree in Mass Communications. All right, we can use young ladies like you in the media, that is for sure. And you want to become a news anchor?
I do.
Here, take this and get started this morning.
Because this is very exciting for me. I'm getting to actually have an interview and talk to a news anchor.
Talk a little bit about some of the honors that you've achieved scholastically. And I'm telling you, there's just almost too many to mention, but talk about a few of those.
So my parents from a young age always stress the importance of exceeding academically because ultimately that goes into your future. And so in school I strive to make sure that I'm having all A's and really just doing the best in my classes, and I really take my academics seriously. And so I've received the Presidential Award for Academic Excellence. And that's one of my favorite scholastic awards just because I worked so hard for it and I was so honored to achieve it.
You mentioned your parents a little bit. What role do they play in your success?
They make sure that I'm everywhere I need to be. Like right now, we have to wake up super early to be here, and I credit my mom for that. She does everything, and they really just push me to be the best I can be. My dad stays on me about my grades. We have a no-B policy, so I'm only allowed to make all A's. And it is stressful, but I'm happy that they push me, and because they know what I'm capable of and how much I can achieve.
Oh, wow. I saw your mom outside making sure you had everything just right. And,
yes.
And that
help
is
me with my wardrobe, my makeup. She does everything.
Yeah. You said you'd been involved in pageants for a number of years. When did you become serious about pageants?
I became serious about pageants when I started competing in this organization, actually. Before then, I did beauty pageants, and it was a long journey for me because at first I didn't win, and every time I would cry, and my dad told me, look, if you keep crying, you're not doing pageants anymore. So I was like, oh, okay. Well, I need to get myself together.
Get it together, right?
I had to get it together, and I stopped crying, and he let me continue to do pageants, and I was a rising star in the Miss Alabama pageant. That really what got me into the Miss Alabama's Outstanding Teen organization. And so definitely when I started competing in prelims, I buckled down, got serious about it, and I knew the ultimate goal was to get to this point.
What's some of the ins and outs of participating in pageants such as Miss Alabama organization?
You learn so many essential life skills that I can use throughout my time in high school and even when I'm an adult. Communication skills is probably one of the most important things that I really value. I learned to talk to people. I learned how to really interact with people. I'm held to a higher standard. People see this crown on my head, and so it brings attention. And so I redirect that attention with my words and bring a light to issues that aren't really talked about, such as bullying and other things. And so I'm just blessed to have this opportunity to be at such a high pedestal and be able to talk to people.
Miss Coosa Valley Outstanding Teen Jayla Duncan, our guest this morning. I'm sure a lot of younger girls look up to you.
They do. When I'm in public, they think I'm a princess because I have this crown on my head. And I'm far from it, but I feel special. And just to be able to go talk to little girls, one of my favorite memories is that I was ringing the bell for the Salvation Army. And this little girl came outside and she was crying because she wanted my bell that I was ringing, and she also wanted to wear my crown. And so I took off my crown, let her wear it, and I also let her have the bell. And it's just little moments like that that make me appreciate what I do.
She'll never forget that.
I'm sure she won't. I'll never forget it.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of leadership roles that you're involved in too. Speak to some of those today.
Well, I think I have only child syndrome, and so I like to be president of different clubs just because I love having responsibility and I love working under pressure, and being officer in clubs allows me to do so. And like I said, it is only child syndrome. I like being in charge. I think my mom could definitely agree with that. I like being the boss. But working in clubs, you're not technically the boss. You get to work with other officers, and you have to have communication. You have to know what's best for the club. And so most of my responsibilities within my club is to think of creative ways to do fundraising. And that's something that I've really enjoyed this year. I've been able to increase enrollment in all the clubs I'm in, as well as think of different things to fundraise and raise money for our clubs.
Fantastic. Your talent is... Let's Get Loud is tap dancing.
Yes.
How did you get started tap dancing?
I've actually been tap dancing since I was 2 years old.
Oh, goodness.
And I love it. It's my favorite form of dance, and so I've just been able to keep up with it.
So is there particular types of music that you perform tap dancing? Particular songs or what?
Last year, I performed a tap dance routine to James Brown, Get Up Off of That Thing. And so I wanted to switch it up this year, and I decided to do a tap dance, Let's Get Loud by Jennifer Lopez. My family nickname is actually J-Lo, which is her nickname. And I love her music. I love that she's an actor. One of my favorite movies is Selena, and she actually played the role of Selena. And so I'm just excited to tap dance Let's Get Loud.
Wonderful. Who are some people that have made a difference and kind of forged the path for you as far as the pageants that you're involved in, including this one this year?
For sure, my parents, and also being a rising star in the Miss Alabama pageant definitely made me want to get into the organization. I was first a rising star for Rachel Rivers, who was Miss Childersburg, and being able to go to Miss Alabama and experience that with her was probably one of my favorite memories. I had such an awesome time, and I knew that this is something that I want to do.
Interesting fact, you engaged in a FaceTime session with Miss Alabama 2016, Betty Cantrell, and you know, that's pretty high honor right there.
I was coming back from cheer camp, and I actually had the opportunity to go to Tennessee to meet her, but I can't miss cheer camp because you can't cheer, and that was a no-no. And so when I got in the car, my mom just hands me the phone, and Betty Cantrell, Miss America 2016, is on the phone. So you can just imagine my face. I'm just sitting there like this the whole time. I couldn't even talk, and she just told me to never give up, to reach for the stars, and that I can do anything I put my mind to.
You're double jointed in both shoulders?
Yes. Would you like to see?
That is a fact.
I'll turn to the side.
All right. Oh my goodness, that hurts me to watch. Wow.
It feels good to me, but people are grossed out when I do it.
No, I don't think so. You perform with Belle. Is it Belle?
It's Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast at Disney World.
I did.
That was a great treat.
I was 2 years old, and we were sitting there at her resort, and she was asking who wanted to volunteer to come on stage with her. And I was 2, so my dad put me on his shoulders, and I was like, me. and she saw me and she picked me. And so I got to come on stage with her, and I was actually the candlestick. So I just stood there like this the whole time, and it was great. I felt so special. And we have pictures, so it's definitely a memory I will always cherish.
Does your mom ever punch Dad and say, calm down just a little bit?
No, she's used to it now. I think me and our personalities go together. We're both extra, and we just love to have fun. So she's more of the chill one. So she's like, okay, I'll let you guys just do whatever.
You write for Sylacauga Today newspaper too.
I do. I actually started writing this year. I'm the columnist for my school, and I love it so much just because I'm able to share different things that happen within my school. I'm also able to interview a lot of the students at my school, and being able to talk to different students and get their views and perspectives on things that happen within my school has always been fun, and I've made a lot of friends because of it.
And of course, Ken Brewer, the owner and operator of Sylacauga Today newspaper, he is really connected to the pageants and Miss Alabama and all that kind of stuff. So that's a good plus too.
It is, and he's given me a lot of feedback about my columns because I'm always really nervous about them. I'm a perfectionist, and so I want them to be the best. And having feedback from him has definitely helped me grow as a writer.
All right, tell us about, as we close this morning talking with Jayla Duncan, Miss Coosa Valley Outstanding Teen. Tell us about your schedule for 2019. Some big events you've got coming up.
So definitely the state pageant, which is in March. I'm preparing for that, and I'm also preparing for a few competitions. I'll be competing in the FCCLA Star Events in Montgomery, and then after that I'll be competing at the FBLA State Conference. And right now that's just my schedule. I'm sure other things will occur because I'm always busy, and so I'm just preparing for those things, making sure that I'm practicing and preparing so that I can be the best I can be.
What drives you to be that?
Just setting small, achievable goals along the way. I also have long-term goals, but I remember that I can always do better. So just when I think I've done enough, I go a little bit further, just go the extra mile so that I can achieve my ultimate goals. Speak
to that camera right there. Little girls, parents, grandparents watching that their children and grandchildren have grandiose dreams too. Speak to them how they can be successful.
You can be successful just by not giving up. As a little girl wanting to do this, I never thought I'd be able to. I thought it was just some type of fantasy, a dream. Because you look at my crown and you think I'm a princess, but I'm actually someone who is doing small things to make the world a better place just by my platform and being able to talk to kids about bullying. And so I just want to let all the little girls out there watching me right now that let you know that you can do it. And I'm a prime example of that.
Jayla Duncan, freshman at Childersburg High School, is Miss Coosa Valley Outstanding Teen, and we appreciate her. She's looking right there, and I'm not going to ask her to do that double joint, but she's looking right there. She is our guest this morning, Jayla Duncan, Miss Coosa Valley Outstanding Teen.